Hold on, so you're telling me this is your new character? This character sheet is an exact copy of the previous character you played. In fact, the only thing different on this character sheet that I can even find is your character's alignment. Oh, new character approved. Today, we're going to talk about the Reflection Versatile Heritage from Dark Archive on today's episode of The Local Disaster Tour Guide. Greetings and salutations, wanderers and wayfarers. I am the one referred to as Mark, the Regional Emergency Field Trip host. That's right, I am a game master who has been hosting this channel for quite a while. Yes, I am doing quite well. Do not concern yourself with the individual before you. Instead, please join an exciting excursion into the enjoyable world of tabletop RPGs, primarily those produced by Paizo Incorporated. Ah yes, you see, my disguise is flawless. As long as I'm not caught on camera bragging about how much I love the investigator class, no one will know he has been replaced. Happy Halloween, everyone, and welcome to a discussion of one of my favorite additions to Pathfinder 2nd Edition that came out of the Dark Archive. That is the Reflection Versatile Heritage. It's October, and that means that all month long I'm going to be doing videos on spooky-themed content from Pathfinder 2e that hopefully you will enjoy. I've replaced my regular Game Master focused content on Sunday with a discussion of some of the legendary monsters of myth. And for my Wednesday content, I'm going to do my best to pick out some interesting and creepy mechanical options that players might enjoy. And I'm probably not very good at burying the lead because I just want to say I love the Reflection Versatile Heritage that is found in the Dark Archive. You can read up on this in the Dark Archive in the Mirrors and Imposters chapter, starting on page 119. The Reflection is a versatile heritage, which means that it follows the rules for other versatile heritages in the game, such as Aasimar and Tiefling. Essentially, this is a heritage that can be applied to any base ancestry in Pathfinder 2e, and in this case, the Reflection Versatile Heritage represents that you are playing a copy of another individual. Maybe you emerged as an evil mirror twin. Maybe you were literally grown in a vat, but however you came to be, you are someone's duplicate, and you pass through the world in imitation of another person. So today we're going to talk about the Reflection Versatile Heritage, what it offers, and what kind of stories you might be able to use this heritage for, and in general just nerd out about one of the coolest things that Paizo has done. But before we do all of that, don't forget to do all of the YouTube stuff. Please remember to like and share this video if you enjoy it. Subscribe to the channel. You can check out my free Discord and my Patreon. Both of those are linked in the video description. And as always, please jump down into the comments section and leave your thoughts about the Reflection Versatile Heritage or other Halloween-themed content that I might do for this channel, because I love to have you all as part of the conversation. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so let's begin with the basics of the Reflection Versatile Heritage, because, as I've said, I absolutely love this option that Paizo has given us. The Reflection is a versatile heritage, which is a standing mechanic in Pathfinder 2e. It wasn't introduced officially in the core rulebook, though I still maintain that the half-elf and half-orc were a mini playtest of the versatile heritage concept. But versatile heritages were officially introduced in the Advanced Player's Guide with things like the Aasimar and the Tiefling which are heritages that can be applied to any base ancestry in Pathfinder 2e. So, where normally you might play a skilled human or a forged dwarf, you can instead come along and replace that skilled or forged heritage with the reflection heritage instead, modifying your base ancestry. When you take the reflection versatile heritage, you become a copy of another creature that exists inside of the world. The game notes that you are an almost perfect copy of the original creature, though there will typically be a few small identifying marks that are distinct enough that if you were side by side with the original, people would be able to tell the difference. These storytelling hooks here are quite numerous, as I'm sure you can tell, and there's even a sidebar that talks about the final usurpation if you as a reflection are actually able to kill the creature that you originally copied and completely replace them in the minds of others. There is a ton of fantastic story potential here, though I should note that the book goes out of its way to say that not all reflections are necessarily malicious. No, really. But essentially, at level 1, when you're creating your character, you would pick whatever ancestry you want and then come along, take the reflection versatile heritage, and selecting this versatile heritage is not going to give you a lot out of the gate. Essentially, what you will gain is the reflection trait, and as you are a near-perfect copy of another creature, you are not required to roll a deception check to impersonate that creature under most circumstances, though it does note that if you're dealing with very close friends or family of that creature, or someone who has access to maybe a well-done portrait of that creature, you might be required to roll deception to deceive people like that, though in general you are allowed to maintain your cover without any special rolls being necessary. Now, beyond the amazing storytelling potential, to be honest, the Reflection Versatile Heritage is not going to offer a ton of content. Most versatile heritages only come with a small number of feats, because you will have access to a number of feats through whatever your base ancestry is. Versatile heritages tend to come with just a small selection because you're already going to have quite a bit that you can pull from. But I will say overall that Paizo has done a really good job of making the reflection-focused options very, very interesting. There's a lot of fun stuff here, and one of the things that I've noticed is Paizo has done a good job of giving the Reflection Versatile Heritage a number of special reactions or actions through their heritage feats that I think would be appealing to a lot of characters. So let's dive in and talk about the different options that you can select if you go with the Reflection Versatile Heritage. Now at first level, you're going to gain access to 5 different heritage feats that you can select thanks to the Reflection Versatile Heritage, though 3 of them need to be talked about together because they are what are known as Lineage feats. Most versatile heritages in Pathfinder 2e will have Lineage feat options, which is essentially a way to further clarify your character concept through the feat choices that you might make. You don't have to take a Lineage feat, but often it will add some interesting aspect or definition to your character that might otherwise be just kind of generalized over during character creation. For the Reflection Versatile Heritage, you have 3 Lineage feats that you can choose from: Clone Risen, Mirror Risen, and Morph Risen. Clone Risen is intended to cover reflections that came about as the result of a clone ritual or some kind of weird alchemical experiment. Mirror Risen is probably the one that you jump to when you hear Reflection Versatile Heritage, and it's literally you're someone's reflection that stepped out of a mirror and into this world. And finally, Morph Risen represents characters that have access to magic that allows them to change their form or change their shape, but something went wrong and you got stuck in a different form. Now, all 3 of these are going to have a base effect, and they will also give you access to some 5th level heritage feats that you can select, but one of their primary purposes is to just kind of flesh out what kind of reflection you actually are. Again, You don't have to take one of these 3 lineage feats. They are not mandatory in any way, and you can be a mirror reflection without taking the mirror risen feat, but these lineage feats kind of help emphasize that part of your character. The clone risen feat is going to give you access to a special reaction that makes you more resistant to mental effects and even gives you resistance to mental damage. The mirror risen feat is going to give you access to a reflection of yourself that you can send out to possibly downgrade an incoming attack against you. And the morph risen feat is going to make you more resistant to transmutation magic. I think all 3 of these are fun and flavorful, though morph risen does fall a little bit lower for me since it doesn't actually give you any special actions or reactions. I think the flavor fits, but it's just kind of sad that it doesn't give you something special like the other 2. Your other 2 first level feat options are Progenitor Lore and Warped Reflection. Progenitor Lore is the multiple skill training feat that every ancestry gets. Essentially, you will become trained in deception and occultism, plus a lore skill related to whatever ancestry you happen to be imitating. You see these feats all the time for Pathfinder 2e ancestries, and we do tend to gloss over them, though I will say this particular combination fits really well with spy-style characters, which the Reflection Versatile Heritage is already kind of built for, so I do think Progenitor Lore is one of the stronger examples of the free skill bumps feat. And then the last Reflection first level feat, and I'm going to be honest, my favorite, is Warped Reflection. Essentially, this is a single target fear effect that you can use once every 10 minutes, though you cannot use it against the same creature more than once every 24 hours. You pick a creature, and then twist your appearance to look like a creepy mockery of them, causing them to make a will save or become frightened. I love this. This is such a fun feat. It's not super powerful, but it is useful. It fits very well with the flavor of the class. It's a unique action, and my favorite thing about this is it is a single action. This feat is a great replacement for like the third action Intimidate that you frequently use in Pathfinder 2e. Warped Reflection is just so much fun. It's great feat design, and Paizo, if you watch this, I want to see more feats like this in this game. For your 5th level Ancestry feat, you have 4 different options that you can take. One of them is Mistaken Identity, which is available to any reflection, and this is a special reaction that you can use. Essentially, if someone would target you with a mental effect, you can decide that whatever effect that was, it wasn't meant for you, it was meant for the person that you're copying, and you can basically try to shrug the mental effect off as if it was never meant for you in the first place. The upside of this is you get to roll the saving throw twice, but the downside of this is you're automatically frightened 1 after that saving throw because you're kind of doing some mental gymnastics and it doesn't feel right. The other 3 5th level Ancestry feats will all build off one of the Lineage feats from 1st level. Up first you have Replicate, which builds off of the Clone Risen Lineage feat. Replicate is going to give you access to the Illusory Disguise spell, though unlike the normal Illusory Disguise spell, when you use this ability, your body actually changes to whatever body you're trying to imitate, rather than just having an illusion that fits over your body. Your next option is Reflective Pocket, which builds off the Mirror Risen Lineage feat, and Reflective Pocket just allows you to store an item of light bulk inside of a mirror. Now, creatures that look in said mirror can still potentially see the item that you're hiding there, but it makes it a lot easier to conceal an object and can make it a lot easier to smuggle something into a place without it being noticed. And let's just be honest, that's a fun ability. And then your final 5th level Ancestry feat option is Warp Likeness, which builds off of the Morph Risen Lineage feat. And here we get to see the Morph Risen actually get their own unique action. Once per minute, if you hit a creature with a melee strike as your last action, you can use the Warp Likeness action to actually try to force the target of your melee strike to have their likeness shift to match yours. The experience is very disconcerting, and if they fail a Fortitude save, they can end up with the Clumsy condition as a result. I'm not joking when I say Paizo has some amazing feats. with this versatile heritage, and this is a great example. Again, it's simple, it's not overpowered, but the storytelling impact is amazing. At 9th level, there are 3 potential ancestry feats that you can access. One of these does actually build off of the Mirror Risen Lineage, and this is the only Lineage-specific feat at 9th level or higher. Mirror Refuge is a 9th level ancestry feat that for 2 action allows you to hide in a mirror. Your previous feat gave you the ability to store a small item in a mirror. Now you can store yourself. And I mean, I guess it makes sense if you came out of a mirror, you know how to get back in. Again, this can allow for some incredible stealth options and great storytelling. The next feat option that you can access is called Two Truths, and it does require you to be Master in Deception, though the Reflection Versatile Heritage, you probably have good deception, let's just be honest here. Essentially, Two Truths is an action that you can take where as long as what you are saying is true from the perspective of either yourself or the creature that you are imitating, it will register as true regardless of what effects are going on around you. So if it would be true for the person that you are duplicating and you say it, it would register as true under a Zone of Truth spell. I'll admit this is a little niche, but not too bad. The other 9th level ancestry feat option here is called Unyielding Disguise, and if you have the ability to cast Humanoid Form or Illusory Disguise, the base duration of the spell increases to 2 hours, and you can take the Drained condition at the end of the duration to increase that duration by 1 hour every time you increase the Drained condition. So there's a little risk reward, but it gives you an option to extend your cover longer if that's what you need. At 13th level, the Reflection Versatile Heritage has access to 2 possible ancestry feats. The first one is called Malleable Form, and this is another kind of niche ancestry feat, but it could be useful. Essentially, if your character is using a spell that has multiple forms, for example, humanoid form or animal form, you can spend an action while under the effect of that spell to switch out which form that you are using. Admittedly, this is kind of niche. You have to have certain spells and you have to be using those spells, but there are definitely situations where this could allow you to only need 1 spell instead of multiple castings of a spell in order to accomplish a task, so there is some utility here. However, I have to say I like the other 13th level feat option a little bit more. It's called Redirect Attention, and essentially what this feat does is, if your character would be directly targeted by a scrying effect of any kind, then the person casting that spell must attempt a counteract check against you, and if they fail, you automatically deflect that scrying spell off to the creature that you are duplicating. It is essentially a form of passive resistance against scrying spells, and I think that is a ton of fun. And then last but not least, at 17th level, for the true body horror aficionados in my audience, you have the 17th level ancestry feat Reflect Foe. What this does is it allows you to take a small piece of your body, a small pinch of flesh, some of your hair, and throw it out to cast the spell Duplicate Foe from the core rulebook, which creates a mirror copy of your enemy, which now helps you as you battle said enemy. The ability to take a small chunk of yourself and grow a duplicate of the person you're fighting, that's just crazy. Paizo, this stuff is amazing and I love it. But that's all that I've got for you today. If you want to read up more on the Reflection Versatile Heritage or any of the other great content that Paizo included in the Dark Archive, you should definitely go and check that book out. There is a lot of fun stuff here, but the time has come for me to turn the conversation over to you. What are your thoughts about the Reflection Versatile Heritage? And how much do you really want to play one of these now? Because I know this moved to the top of my list very quickly. Jump into the comment section below and join the conversation. And don't forget all the other YouTube stuff, like, share, subscribe, check out my free Discord, my Patreon, all of that. But as always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being part of the conversation. Happy Halloween, and have a wonderful day.